So we are so excited to have you all with us today. I'm Wendy from FamilySearch, and I'm here with Ron Tanner, and we have some really fun things to talk to you about today. And so those of you that are joining us, please let us know in the comments where you are joining us from. I'm actually in downtown Salt Lake City, and Ron, where are you calling us from?
Provo, Utah.
Provo, Utah. So Utah's covered. Let us know where you are joining us from. And also, before we jump in and we give people just a minute to join us, how are you surviving the quarantine? What's been the most interesting thing so far?
I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you a couple stories here, but I'm telling you, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
I have found I could go to the office and I can make it through the day. But when I'm sitting here at this table for, 8 hours, it's like I fall out on the floor to crawl for 10 feet before I can, everything hurts,
Yes, yes.
It's nuts.
Don't you miss your colleagues? Because you're an extrovert. That's why we're doing this, because we need to see our patrons, our viewers, our friends, and each other. So thank you for joining us. Okay, Ron, tell us one crazy thing that's happened to you so far.
Well, I'll just give you a little quickie thing here. Just first off, this whole COVID-19 happened for me when I was in California. So we went to go babysit our grandson in California, and it was just starting. And while we were there, it became a thing, and so we had to be careful when we were in California. We stayed there for about a week or so. We couldn't come home not because of COVID, but because of the snow over the Reno.
It did?
So we were stuck there for a couple of days, and I finally gave up. So we got to go. So we drove from, my daughter, who I was babysitting for her grandkid there, lives just north of San Francisco, and we had to drive all the way down to Bakersfield and over to Las Vegas and up to get back to work.
Oh my goodness.
That's just how hard it was to get home. Now here's my COVID-19.
Okay, give us your COVID-19 story. And we we have people that are telling us we have New York City, and we have a lot of Utah and Oceanside, California. Kind of jealous of Oceanside. We're so glad you guys are here. Okay, Ron, give us a quick story, and then we'll jump in.
Let me tell you, we came home, and we really didn't go anywhere. We had some food in the house. We had things in the house, and it'd been a couple of weeks, and I thought, we ought to go to Costco, because we never got into the toilet paper thing, right? We never got to get any toilet paper or any that kind of stuff because we're out of state. So, and it's insane. You go in there, there's nothing, right? We went in there during normal hours, and there's nothing. So I decided that I'm going to try the old people entrance. Okay, so I'm over 60.
Okay, that's a nice disclosure. Thanks for telling us.
I'm over 60, and I decided I'm going to use that to my advantage. Okay. So Costco has this, you show up at 8 o'clock, they open the door for older folks, and I thought, okay, this is going to be great. So I grabbed my wife, Cherie, and we hop into the car. I tell her, we got to get over there. We want to be over there by 7:45, so we can be in the front of the line.
Yes.
We get there, and the line goes, if I were to count the line and how much it would go around Costco like twice.
Oh, and
it was already packed with a bunch of older folks leaning on their carts. They got a basket, and I'm sitting there going, "My heck!" We walked. It went, for us, the Costco's next to the mall, University Mall. It almost made it to University Mall. So we walked down there, and then they only let so many in at a time. Eventually, we made it to the front. We got into the Costco, and what is the thing you do when you're there? You head straight to the toilet paper.
You do? I haven't done this yet. Let us know if you've done this.
If you don't do that, you ain't getting it, okay?
So you go straight back.
Straight, and it's always in the back of the store, so you got to walk the furthest away. So we hustled down to the thing, and they had like 4 people stocking pallets, and they didn't even bother to have you grab it. They'd just be standing there walking out to you and saying, "Here," and they'd hand you a big old thing of toilet paper and a big old thing of paper towels. And you just throw it in your basket, and then you go wander around to get the rest of your groceries.
Oh, my goodness.
So it worked. The thing is, it worked.
It worked.
So I'm using the 60 thing, and next time I need to go, I'm going. It's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. You can make it in.
Oh, this is awesome. Okay, we have people joining us from all over, too. We have someone from Ireland and Myrtle Beach, hello, and Mexico, and all over the States. And let us know if you've had a Costco shopping experience. But we are going to jump in And just to remind everybody, we are doing this every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Mountain Daylight Time, and we will set reminders and let you know who the guest is. And last week we had Ty Davies, and we're so thrilled that Ron has agreed to come on. So Ron is going to share his screen, and we are excited to learn alongside of him. And Ron, I think the first thing you wanted to talk about is the fan chart, yeah?
That's right. Yeah, let me share my screen, and let's make sure that that's working here.
Okay, and we are just thrilled that everyone's here, and we even have someone from Australia. And so as you are jumping in, like I said, I'm Wendy, and this is Ron, and we are going to spend the next 40 minutes just talking about FamilySearch with you. And Ron, how long have you worked at FamilySearch?
Let's see. I've been there now. Dang, that's I got to calculate that one. It's been 13 years on my 14th year.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So I think everyone can see your screen, and I'm wondering if you want to enlarge it just a smidge, so it's easy for people who are. Let us know if you can see, or if we need to enlarge the screen.
Well, first off, I'm going to get to this first. Here's a fan chart. I'm going to zoom in. Now, it's not really important to see the names and stuff,
right?
For what the stuff we're talking about, but let me move that around a little bit.
Okay, yeah,
so,
I think
we've got. Can you read that a little bit?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think so that looks great. I think we are confirmed that the screen looks great. So take it away, Ron.
All right, so this is the fan chart. By the way, I didn't have that on my list. You now can choose to see a fan chart on mobile app.
Yes.
Right? Mobile family tree. You can go into settings and say, I'd rather see fan chart instead of the pedigree chart if you want, by the way. But here's something that we're working on right now. We haven't finished it, so you're getting
a sneak.
Just
a sneak.
Here. This is sneaky stuff.
Yeah,
right?
sneaky. This is top secret.
Yeah, top secret. So as you know, over here, you can choose different elements of how you want to see on your fan chart. So you can click birth country, and it shows you by color the birth countries. You can do sources. So these are ones that have sources. Stories. You can see this is my grandma Tanner, and I'm a horrible person because I haven't put any good stories.
No. You can do it during the quarantine.
Yeah, okay. And here's photos, who has photos, and any kind of research helps.
Okay.
So what we want to do, people have been asking for this, but we haven't really done much, is, well, when you go with a fan chart, you can also print the fan chart, right? So you come over here and you can say print, but whenever you print, let's see, I may even try it. Whenever you print, even though I had like birth countries, it just shows me the plain old standard fan chart.
Which is still beautiful, but it's not the same view, right?
Not the same thing. So here is a sample of what we're
okay. So just to state, this isn't something that you can do yet, but Ron is showing you the fan chart and then something that's coming.
That's correct.
We're giving you guys a little tease.
That other that I showed you was a PDF that we create. So here is a sample of what we are in the process of working. And this is a PDF, but it's listed by countries.
Oh, I love it.
So here it is. I tried to do that. Let me shrink it down a little bit so you can see the whole thing. You see something like that, and you got your countries here. And we're going to do that for each and every one of these choices.
So every view, you can
pick sources, and then you go print. You'll see the sources stuff. If you pick stories and print, you'll see the stories stuff. So every one of these, we're going to let you create a PDF for it. That could be handy and nice.
Okay, so we have a couple of users saying that someone is saying that one of their kids married early, so you'll have to find out if you're related. But how many of you have used the fan chart view and all the different ways you can look at it, and what is your favorite? Ron, do you have a favorite view?
Well, what I like is the stories.
Oh, I love the stories.
It's always cool to see where the stories are. And this says, 1 to 4 stories. And so sometimes we'll just wander around and we'll click one of these people and we'll go to memories and we'll go look at some of the stories that they have.
Wow.
They have on this person. So here's some stories. There's 3 stories here that people have put together. And we'll open one of these things and start reading about Old Fort, Utah, and how that had to do with Iron Journey.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, just like Tanner, boy, that lets you know how tough it is for me to find something to do in genealogy because I'm on Tanners on one side and Turley on the other.
So that you have like tons of Pioneer legacy.
Yeah, so it gets really stinky,
history.
and they're animals. So they're animals.
They're animals.
Hints come out, and before I can find a hint anywhere to do, it's already gone.
Everybody does it. Okay, so that is the fan chart, and you can find that. And Ron did mention that you can also find that on the mobile app on the family tree. But this is a way that you can look at your pedigree in a variety of ways. So, and coming eventually is you'll be able to print this, which is exciting.
Right.
And I know people are going to ask, do we have any idea when the print function will be available?
We don't have any deadline, but it's going to be this year. So
okay, this year. This is great. By the time we're allowed out of our houses, we'll be able to print, right?
By the time we go back to the offices.
Yes. Okay, what do we want to show them next?
Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is let's see, I'm going to go to a particular ancestor here. I'm going to go to Henry Martin Tanner. He's sort of my go-to guy if I have him in here. I was playing with him yesterday, so I may not have him here. There he is. Henry Martin Tanner. I think he's great. He's one of my ancestors.
Wow.
The fun thing about Henry Martin Tanner is he had a cousin,
by
the way, who was named Martin Henry Tanner. They were born on the same day, and they died within 130 days of each other. So everybody on the planet wanted to merge them as duplicates to say Henry Martin was the same as Martin Henry, but they were different. They had the same grandparents, but they were different kids.
Wow.
And that's always a kind of interesting thing that we struggle with when people use the same names. Anyway, what I want to show is these are names. Well, can you see that? I'm going to make that bigger.
Yeah, make that a little bit bigger. And we've got some people talking about their favorite views on the fan chart, and it seems like birth countries is one that's winning.
Birth countries are the coolest because then you can see where you're all coming from.
It would make, Donna is saying it would make an awesome wall picture. Donna, we agree. I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, and and this is a PDF. So there's plenty of people that take these PDFs and print them on some big printer.
Huge.
Big.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So these things here, these little names right here, these are people's what we call contact name. This is me, and this is someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And we've added a feature just recently, not this year, but a little bit last year, where you could find out how you are related to somebody.
Living. That's in the tree.
This is a living person.
Yeah.
This is a living
This
contributor.
is exciting.
When it changed in September, I can sit and see it. So I wanted to show you some examples. So here I wanted to show you some examples so I could edit out a few things in case they didn't want to say it.
Okay.
So here's Henry Martin Tanner, and I clicked his name down here. And as a matter of fact, I'll show you where that is. I go back over here. Here's James Tanner, and I click it, and I see all that stuff. That's the stuff I didn't want to show too much unless I wanted to. But I clicked his name, and it shows me here's his name, and he says right off, it's his second cousin, one times removed. So James Tanner is my second cousin, one times removed. And I could even click this view my relationship and see how we're actually related. So let me bring that up. So when I click that, it looks like this. Here's Henry Martin Tanner. Isn't that interesting that I picked that guy? Kind of special. And we're both descendants of Henry Martin Tanner and Eliza Parkinson. And here I am down here. Here's my line up to Thomas, and here's Leroy, brother, and there's James. And so that's how we are related.
So this is cool. I love this.
I can see it for anybody in the tree who has given permission.
Yeah, so they have to opt. About that. They have to opt in, right?
That's right.
And
so let's show you. Let me show you a little bit about that.
Okay, yeah, we're going to show you how this happens. So this is great for people who have. Some people are working like by themselves on the tree, but oftentimes you'll find people who are making changes or doing things, and you want to like see how you're related and connect with them. So this is a big deal for FamilySearch because we typically haven't facilitated kind of living things in the past. So
and I was pushing the team to do this because everybody would come up to me and say stuff like, "Some crazy person went into my line and started changing stuff," and I said, they're all they're your relatives because nobody else cares about your line, right? I don't have time to run over and do a Smith line or a Josiah line.
Yeah.
I'm busy with Tanner line and Turley line, right? And so I wanted them to see that they were related. They're cousins. So this is live. This is Melinda. Now, Melinda doesn't show anything here.
Because she hasn't opted in?
She has not opted in. Okay, so I see no relationship available. But I see this thing here called request to view relationship. What that's going to do is if I push that button, then the system will, on my behalf, send a message to Melinda to say, Ron would like to see how you're related to each other.
This is great.
And let me show you what that looks like. I wanted to tell you what the message looked like. So I wanted you to not feel bothered about the message. So here's the message that gets sent. It said, it would be nice to see how we are related as we work together on our shared family tree. Please go to FamilySearch settings and enable relationship viewing so we can see how we're related. So for privacy concerns, because both of us are living, both of us have to opt in to say we're willing to share. And if both of us do, then we'll tell you how you're related and show it.
I love that.
Yeah. Now,
can you show people how to opt in?
Yes, I'm going to do that right now.
And then there is, as you're doing that, there is a question about sharing Living Tree with others. And maybe we can cover that later, unless that's an easy answer. Is that ever going to happen?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that.
Okay. So now we're showing how to opt in so you can message users within the system. Okay.
So what you do is you go to, I'm going to go back over here a little bit.
And make sure everyone you're following us, just let us know in the chat if you aren't. And we have helpers in there. Thank you for our helpers.
Yeah. I'm going to do a little minus on it. You go, you click on your name.
Okay.
Go to settings. Okay.
Are you going to show us your password?
No, that's why I got this pre.
You've got it. That's good.
So
You've done this before.
Here's the settings for Ron, and I go to Contact tab. And on the Contact tab, it shows this is my contact name, this is my email, this is my phone number, which I'm not handing out, or my mobile number, which I would never give out, or my address. But down at the bottom down here, there's a little thing that says Enable Relationship Viewing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make that a little bigger. So it says, do you agree to allow other users to see their relationship to you, your display name, that's what your name is on your person, your portrait, so they can see a picture of you, and if available, any shared ancestors. And you go and turn that on by clicking that square.
Easy.
So you click that on, you hit save, and now you're enabled to share with others. If you decide you don't want to do it anymore, you just come in here and you click it again and make sure that it's empty, it's not checked anymore. Then save it, and then now you're no longer sharing how you're related.
Okay. That's awesome. So we've done fan chart, and we've talked about, what do we call this messaging?
I just call it how we're related.
How we're related. Okay.
We're doing relationship viewing. How two people contribute. We didn't really make a name. We didn't do a marketing name. This was a bad
that's okay. Thing. Do we want to show? Do we want to show unfinished attachments next?
Yes, I think that would be great. Let me talk about that.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to go to a different ancestor here. See if I can find that ancestor. Earl. I'll just type it in here. There you are, Earl. KVGX. There's Earl. Earl Hoskins Parkinson. This is on my wife's line, Cherie's line.
Mm-hmm.
And when the cool thing about unfinished attachments is you go to sources. So I'm clicking the source. And this is all live, so I don't have a screenshot. I didn't snap this. And I come down here and hope it's still there. There it is. Here's Earl Parkinson in the United States Census 1940. And it says there are unattached attachments. Okay, with unfinished attachments,
okay.
which means there's people in the family in the census that does not have this source on them.
Okay.
So I'm going to click it.
So does this mean someone was going to attach it and didn't finish?
Right.
Okay.
Either they didn't finish or Yes, usually they didn't finish. They were anxious to do just the primary person, and they didn't
Okay.
happen to look at the other persons. But the cool thing about this is I can come here and look at what I have found.
Okay.
There was a missing daughter.
Okay.
Janine Parkinson did not get put into the family.
Okay.
This person only put in Garth and Kay, and here's Janine, and I could click that to go and add Janine to the family if I wanted. Now I'd have to look and see if she's alive or deceased. Right.
Nathan, my kids are home. I need to remind them that I'm live streaming. Guys, I'm on Facebook right now.
That's right. That's okay. That's life. That's living.
We're here with you. We are in our homes as everyone else.
So that's the cool thing about this. And so I really like this as much as whenever I visit anybody to do something else, I usually try to jump over and go look at sources to see if there's any missing persons in the sources that need to be added to the tree. Because what happens as we do our research or we do our family history, we get information like for deceased people and things like that. And what's interesting is over the years, people who are living become deceased. And so sometimes in the next round of records, so like 1950 census, there's going to be a lot of people that have the 1940 census in there, but when the 1950 census is, there's going to be a bunch of people that are living now that aren't going to be living then. And we'll want to find all of them and attach them to their right families.
Okay. I'm going to have we have a couple of people saying that they want to see how you did that one more time.
Okay.
And I really like, while you're doing that, how you talked about this is something that is helpful now, but when we have the 1950 census, which is in a couple of years, this will be something that will really help add people who haven't been added. They maybe weren't the primary person. Okay, so those of you that are joining us, Ron is going to show one of our newer features or releases, and it's how to do unfinished attachments. So we'll walk through it one more time, and then we'll move on to our next topic. And if you have specific questions, ask in the comments about this feature, and we'll try to respond. Okay, one more time.
You go to some person in your family, you click sources. Of course, it has to have sources. If it doesn't have any, then this doesn't work.
Okay, hold on one second. How do people find out if there's an unfinished attachment? Is there ever going to be a list of all unfinished attachments for people?
Well, plenty of people have been telling us they want that.
They're asking.
So, we haven't started building that. That's a
Make
little bit
the suggestion.
Yeah,
not yet.
The suggestion. That's
okay.
Right. So right now you have to go to each person by hand. You have to click sources and you scroll down. And when you scroll down, you're going to see this message here.
Okay. So you go to sources and you see this message, guys. And can I I have to interrupt you for a second. We have a super fan. I'm calling him a super fan. David looks like Farstead. No, not David, but he's asking about unfinished attachments. But someone said they're joining us from a campground in Oklahoma. So you need to tell us more about that in the comments. Okay, keep going.
How do you even get internet up there?
I know, this is awesome. Okay, go back.
All right, so you scroll down, you'll find unfinished attachments. And then when you click this thing, it will open the source to family comparison. We call it the source linker.
Okay.
When you click that, it'll automatically open it up, and then it will show you who's missing, who you need to add to the tree. So in this case, this is Janine here. I need to click add here and add her to the tree. Okay. So
awesome.
People that are missing. Sometimes you'll see borders or something. You can't really do anything with that. If it gets in your way, some people get annoyed by it. So I'll also show you. You can go to sources here. You can go to options. Let me make that a little bit bigger. You can go to options. And down here, you can uncheck that. And now I won't see any of them. See, there's no unfinished anything. If it annoys you and you don't want to see it, just turn it off. If you want to see it, turn it on. And now there it is down at the bottom. Okay. Thank you for going through that twice. I think that's seen. I'm just going to check our commenters and see that we're still good. Okay. So that was unfinished attachments. So we showed fan chart,
We showed user to user messaging. We showed unfinished
relationships between
relationships. Yes. And then we were showing unfinished attachments. So something that I think people always like to know and hear about, especially Ron, when you go and speak. Ron does a lot of the What's New classes at Roots Tech. And I remember, I don't know if I think it was last year, you were in like the hugest room. Remember, it was like 5,000 people or something?
Well, that was the year before. Yeah, it was last year. I was in the one that had like 4,000 something seats.
And I think it was like standing room only. So how lucky.
I did it twice in there.
You did it twice. Let us know. Let us know if you've ever come to Roots Tech but Ron, will you share just a few stats about the family tree with our friends who are watching, and then we're going to go to some questions, because I think this is a favorite thing that people love to know.
People like to know how the tree's doing. So I got a couple of pictures here I want to show.
This is great.
So total number of persons in family tree, we're at now 1.26 billion in family tree.
Okay, wow. Hold on. Let's just say that. How long has family tree been around?
It started in 2007. So it's been around as long as I've been working there, because I started the week that new FamilySearch was launched.
Wow.
When FamilySearch was initially launched, I started that week. Isn't that interesting?
Yes. That
1.2 billion, so it's been around for 14 years.
So how many people is that a day? Okay, someone do math.
Look right here. You're adding about 6.9 million every month to the tree.
6.9 million.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Now, people say this thing is not sourced. Well, we have 1.54 billion sources in family tree connected to persons in the tree.
Wow.
1.54 billion. And people are adding 38 million new sources every month.
A month. And thank you to all of the people who are with us who are part of that, because FamilySearch is.
I'm not adding 38.
We appreciate you joining us today. We appreciate you contributing. So thank you.
Yeah. And memories, there's 44 million memories. People adding about 1 million memories every month.
Wow.
I'm trying to think if I had. And also people want to know, how big is the single largest connected tree? So when I started out, I thought there would be a tree from this country and a tree from this part of the world and a tree from this part of the world. In reality, it's really one big tree. And so 536,764,780 persons exist in one single connected tree. They're all related.
Wow. Okay, that's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. I can't even grasp that, honestly.
Yeah, there was a guy, professor someplace, that was researching, and he came and talked to me and said, "Oh, I think so and so's got the biggest tree." And I said, "Well, how many do they have?" And they said, "Well, they just hit 10 million." And I said, "Well, we're at like 300 million." "No way." And I went and showed him the 300 million, and then he followed along with me, kept calling me periodically until I got to about 450 million. He says, like, I don't think I believe it.
So is this include living or deceased?
This is living and deceased.
Okay, but that was a good question. Someone asked, and yeah, I think it was Michelle. Michelle was asking Westcott. So keep staying with us. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, now I thought I'd talk a little bit about where you can find out about what's happening.
Yes. Besides this place right here. Besides the magic that that you guys are all here for, yes. But consistently, where can you find this? The updates.
Yeah. So I put it in a Word document so I wouldn't have to worry about typing the dang thing.
Oh, we appreciate you being so prepared, and I'm glad that technology is working. Thanks to all of our viewers and our helpers for contributing and asking questions and helping each other. It's so great to see this conversation flowing.
Yeah. So let me go to that Word document, because I don't know, I'll grow this up a little bit. So this is the URL that you can go to anytime you want. And what we do is any changes or updates that we feel are significant, we're not going to say it if we're changing a character or adding a new, statement or changing a color. We're not going to do anything there. But when we do anything significant, we're going to put it in this blog. So you want you want to go to that URL. I'll leave it up there for a little bit.
Okay.
And when you go to that URL, it's going to go to this place here, and you're going to go up here and click subscribe to stay informed.
Guys, we have a blog, and it's fantastic. You will want to follow the blog. So
you'll get told when this thing gets updated. But let's look at a couple of things that are down here. I'm just going to go through it. I'm not going to talk much about it.
Okay.
This talks about the tree. Here's it's talking about a mobile app fan chart. Remember I talked about earlier where you could go in and turn on to use the fan in the mobile app. Tells you how to do that. Here's another one where how to share your memories and your albums of memories to people in Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest. And it talks to you about how to do that.
That's awesome.
So there's tons of information here. And anytime we have an update, we add more stuff here. So this is the place you want to come to find out all about the new stuff we're doing in FamilySearch and Family Tree.
Okay. Quick question.
I'll put that up on the screen a little bit.
We have a question about relationship viewing. This is from by the way, we are streaming on the FamilySearch Facebook page and the Family History Library page. So this is fun. They want to know if they do work on both their biological and adoptive lines. If I give permission to show how we're related, which is one thing you showed us, will it tell which kind of relationship biological versus adoptive in relationship viewing?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't tell you the type of relationship. What we actually do is we look and find the shortest path between you and that person. So if they're from the adopted line, it'll go through those set of parents because it's probably closer than going the biological, because they'd have to go further up and then down to find that.
Okay.
So and we felt like that is private information that we would not want to show to anybody else, whether you're a biological or adoptive in there. So we felt like that is something we felt was too invasive about your relationship. So we wouldn't want to share that.
Thank you for answering that. Okay, so we talked about fan chart. We talked about what we just talked about, relationships, and then we talked unfinished attachments. And this is where you can go and you can subscribe to stay informed of all of the updates. That a lot of these they'll be the small and the big updates. Check out the FamilySearch blog. It's a fantastic resource.
I'll put that up there.
Yeah, that's really, really good. If you haven't checked it out yet, then please do. There's a fantastic blog team who's constantly working on making sure that there's content on there for everybody. Okay, so Ron, are there any other, you shared stats with us, which I can't even remember the numbers because they're just so massive and huge. And I am wondering if you want to answer some questions. What is one of the most common questions people ask you?
Probably the most common question is, how do I get people to stop changing stuff?
Oh, and
I remember. Let me just tell you the story. I had worked on the proposals for this concept, right? Way back when. I remember in 2007, 2008, going to BYU genealogy conference and talking about the concept of an open edit tree. And if you remember, even my first ones in Roots Tech, I was talking about the refrigerator, right?
Yes.
You could put stuff in, but you never could take anything out.
Yes. Does anyone remember that? Yes.
That refrigerator one? That was good. My funnest one. They won't let me show it because I can't find a non-copyrighted version of the refrigerator. But anyway, it was just what happened is we built the system in the past so that people couldn't change somebody else's data. That's what everybody wanted.
Right.
All it did is it made it so that the fridge got full of nasty stuff and you couldn't get rid of it. So people were being very creative in the past to get rid of the stuff. So it made sense that the way to solve that is to let anybody change it. Mm-hmm. Everybody loved it until somebody else came along changing it, right? So I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what I here. I put a little PowerPoint together, but I can't remember if I just cut it out or this is more than I want to show.
There's also one person suggesting that they have a private tree in one of our our partner accounts, which is great. Like there's lots of ways to keep things separate. And then obviously, we love it when you contribute to FamilySearch. So that's a good solution for a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'm just gonna talk about this.
Well, don't stop sharing.
Don't stop sharing?
Well, I mean, you can stop sharing. Yeah, you can talk.
I'm scared. Should I share again? I need to share back.
Then our faces are bigger and the screen's more interesting for people to look at.
Your face is bigger. I don't think my face is any bigger. I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
So let me talk about it.
Okay.
So you need to recognize that people are different skill levels in family tree. Some are beginners, some are not. Some have seasoned experience. Some have a particular way they've learned how to do it. And so the struggle is how to mesh all these people together who are at different learnings, at different skill levels, do it differently, and how to get them to come out with the same answer. And so here's just some little advice that I would provide you, and I'll give you a couple of stories that actually shows this. So first off, remember, nothing ever gets lost. Okay. People call me up and said, they destroyed my whole line. All of my data's gone. And the answer is, we never throw any data away, period. So all of that data is still there. You just need to know how to bring that data back. Okay. So don't panic. It's all there. And we have people that will help you if you need that. The other thing is be objective. In other words, stop.
And be loving.
Take a breath. Be calm. Be patient and be courteous. Because this person is related to you.
Right. We're all related, right?
We're all related. And those lines are all, tanner lines. Everybody messing with tanner lines are tanners in some way. And so you want to have a good relationship with your family. So remember, they're part of your family.
Yes.
There's very few that just wander around trashing lines. And you have to assume that the other person was well-intended. They didn't come in with intention to maliciously destroy stuff. And then the biggest thing I think that can help is putting in good reason statements. I call them reason statements. People tend to ignore these reason statements because they say, well, I know why I put it in. Why do I have to put in a reason statement? The reason statement is your message to the next person that's coming to explain why what you have in there is the best answer. Okay? So let me give you an example. There's someone in Idaho, I'll call her Heather, who told me a story where she had a particular ancestor that everybody was just trashing up, okay? And so when she decided she would test this family tree approach.
Okay.
So they trash it, she'd calm down, she'd think about it, and she's very diligent and very knowledgeable genealogist. So she'd contact them on the phone, get a hold of them, or through messaging, talk to them for a little bit. So tell me why you did this. Oh, I was using Aunt Ethel. So I hope nobody out there is Aunt Ethel. Maybe I should use Betsy, and that like the name that isn't used anymore or something. So Aunt Ethel or Aunt Betsy. Oh, I had her GEDCOM file, her PATH file, and I was just putting that data in because she was the family genealogist, right? And so Heather would say, well, yeah, but she didn't have access to the sources that we do today. So let's go together and go look at the sources and let me show you what it looks like and stuff. And then that ancestor, that relative would go, okay, I get it. And then what she did was this. This is what the magic was. She went back into the reason statement.
Okay.
And then she typed in and added to the reason statement. If you're using Aunt Ethel's GEDCOM file, there are problems in it. And here's the 2 or 3 places that are bad. So please beware and stuff like that. And it took her she told me it took her a couple months. And she'd do this with everybody that did that. And within that 2 months, since then, it's been about 4 years, and no one has changed the person at all.
Okay. This
because
is
she made friends out of them. She taught them. So you have the skills. So you understand why it's right or wrong, and you just need to teach them and spend a little time with them. And they're your relative anyway.
Okay.
You need to,
This This is good. This is good. And I think there's so many people who can relate to that. And we have a couple more questions. Do you want to take some questions?
Sure. Yeah, we're running out of time. I do have another story, but I'll tell you that later.
Okay. This is a quick one. This is from Andrea, and she wants to know if we're ever going to allow people to merge living people.
Well, the problem with that is, there's privacy laws about what can be seen by a living person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for a solution that says I only want to have one copy of my living mom across all the kids, it's not going to happen. And the reason for that is because of privacy laws that we have to be careful with. But we are, and there's a few that we've had a prototype or two out there. We've been doing testing.
Mm-hmm.
We are planning on providing a family area, so you can go create a family place, and everybody could put in their living into that same family place. And by doing that, they agree that they can share this living, and they can all see the living. And only those people that are members of this family group will be able to get into that place. And then what will happen, what most people want is they want to see the memories, they want to see the stories and all that stuff and the pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's usually why.
Yes.
It's not so much because they're worried about having to do a merge later. It's really more about I want to see all that's happening. So that's what we think we need to do. And it also works well with all the laws of all the countries to allow us to do that. So that's what we're hoping to do. I can't tell you when because we don't even know when.
I know, but it's exciting.
We know how to do it.
It's exciting to share some of the things that are being worked on. Okay, I think there's something we weren't planning on showing people, but we're getting a lot of questions. And this is a subject we're talking about tomorrow on our live stream on Instagram. And so for those of you who are only on Facebook, should we show them the merge?
Okay, well,
should we just do it?
Jeff is going to get me mad, but I'm
just
willing
keep it
to
quiet.
Show some of that.
We'll just show you a little sneak peek of it, guys.
Okay,
and Jeff Hawkins is a product manager over Family Tree, and he'll be on Instagram with us tomorrow. So if you are here today and you're getting a sneak peek at this and you want to ask Jeff questions tomorrow, actually you should join us tomorrow too on Instagram. But we're just grateful for our Facebook audience. So we want to show this to you too.
Yeah, so let me just show you a little bit. So a merge is the act of taking two people who are the real person and you want to put them together.
Okay.
And there's two problems with the merge right now that we see. One is we're not being as exact in who we're matching, and so we're working on that. And then the other is people get confused about how to go about doing it. So we're trying to simplify and give more instructions.
Simplify, we love it.
A couple of shots.
Okay.
And Jeff can go through and show you it because it's going to be releasing very soon. Okay. So let me see if this picture will come.
Okay, guys. So this is a little bit of a sneak peek, and so the big reveal is tomorrow on Instagram. But for our Facebook friends, which we're so glad that you're here from all over the world, and just a reminder, we will be here every Wednesday at this time. And next week we have a guest from the Family History Library, Tim. I think it's Bingaman, who'll be joining us, which will be great. Okay, Ron.
To make it so that people are more careful. Because merging is probably the most changing thing we do. When you do a merge, it changes more things than anything else.
Okay.
So we want to make sure people do really careful. So we're going to change it into 3 steps instead of 1 step. And that's just to slow people down and let them think a little bit.
Okay,
it's
3
not
steps.
going to make it any harder, that much harder. So step 1 is, are these 2 people or families the same?
Yes.
That's the first thing we're
very
going to
first thing. Figure it out.
And you can scroll. I didn't put it in there so I could scroll, but you can scroll down and you'll see the parents and the grandparents and the spouses and the kids,
the relationships and the places.
Right, and you're sitting there looking at it and the sources. Oh yeah, this looks like the same family. Okay, then you say yes, it's the same family, and you go on to the next step. The next step is, okay, let's select information that you want to save from the one that's going to be stored away See, possible duplicate on the left, that's the one that's going to go away. The one on the right is going to get the data.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually use some smarts in here now, and we auto-select the stuff we think ought to be saved over on the other person. Now, you'll be able to scroll down and see the ones we picked. You could undo those if you don't want those to go. Or you may add some more stuff that you want that we didn't choose. But it's up to you.
Okay. This is great.
Now, also one little thing I didn't take a screenshot of, but I don't think I did. No, I didn't. So in this process of going and choosing, we also give you instructions. Like, for instance, if the birthplace is greater than 3 to 5 years apart, we're going to say, warning, these are too many years apart. They may not be the same person. Okay, so look carefully.
That's
good. We're going to try to teach which things to look for, like if the birth dates are way off, if the places are different, if they have an exact date, like February the 23rd, 1832, and the other one has exact dates, but the dates are different, then we're going to say, whoa, hold it. These may not be the same people. Because, further you get back, everybody used the same name, right? Think of Henry Martin and Martin Henry. I told you at the beginning.
Yes.
Kept wanting to merge them, but they had different names, and they died in different months, So these would be the kind of warnings that we would say, because there's exact dates, but they're different. So
okay.
Then, once you decide all that, the last thing is we're going to show you what the person looks like if it's done. If we do a merge, we're going to show you what the results look like before you actually do it.
Oh, this is so great.
And through here and say, boy, I don't know if I want that. Or, oh, I didn't put that other one. So you could go back and add it. And look at it again, then go back and add it. And then when you got it perfect, just like you want, then you hit finish merge, and you're done. I can't say anything more because Jeff will shoot me.
Okay, guys, this is exciting. He's closing his screen so you can't see anything else. Ron, that was fantastic. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, so I think we are about out of time, and we're going to just kind of end. And Ron,
did you see any burning question? We might could do one question.
Do you want to do one question?
No, we got 4 minutes. 4 minutes. I always push right down to the wire.
Okay. We've got some questions from the library page. I'm going to read one of them to you. They're asking about the order of the pictures in memories. They would like to put the pictures in a logical order, but are they listed in order that someone loaded them?
No, well, you can arrange your pictures within an album. We've just done that one part right now.
Okay.
We're trying to learning how to do it. So you can go to an album and you can order pictures in an album.
Okay.
I suspect most people want to order it on the person page, right? So they see from old to new, old to young, or young to old, or whatever. And what I tell everybody, I reckon we don't do that yet, but what I recommend is you make sure you put in your dates for your memories, because those dates, we may be able to have a button that you push that says sort them by date, and then they're all sorted by date.
Yeah.
Some people like to look from old to young, some like young to old. So make sure you put your dates on your things. We'll keep working on trying to order it on a person page, but we found, for instance, in sources that people like to order them, from oldest, when we added the date to the sources a year or so ago.
Wow.
People like to sort them, earliest to oldest, or, first to whatever.
Okay.
So, yes, we want to do it. You can do it in an album and then share that album with others, and it'll be in that order. But that's the only place right now.
And be prepared for it by adding dates when you're loading. And we have so many people who are saying, thank you for all this information, and they loved seeing some of the merge stuff. And it's just so fun to see where everybody is from. So I really appreciate that, Ron, that you talked about where on the blog they can go for updates. And I think one thing that I really love to show people, if you wouldn't mind, let's show them where to get help if they have questions on FamilySearch. Probably a lot of our friends with us today are aware of how to do this, but let's just show them where to go to get help if they have questions, especially now. A lot of people are spending more time doing genealogy and family history, and we're here to support you. And that's why we're doing these live streams. So let us know what topics you want us to cover, who you would like to have join the live stream as we are wrapping up. And Ron is going to show you how to get help, and then we'll close things off.
Yeah, so here's your help button. It says the word help, but also remember that it's just a question mark up there. So you click help, and then you have several different choices. You can go to getting started, which will help you look at some information. You can put in a query. So if I go to getting started, and then it tells you some basic things about the site and things you can do. If you go to help center, that lets you ask a question. So you can come in here and say, how do I add, and I don't even know if this is in there, so who knows? I didn't try for this one. There you go. How do I add an ancestor who's already in family tree? What information is required? I don't know why it's showing that stuff, but you got to fix that. And then it has some classes down below that sort of matches that you can go off, and how do I research before 1837, things like that. So you can do that. You can also go to help and go to a learning center. So in here we have recorded lessons, either video recorded or step-by-step lessons that you can try.
And there's great classes that are going on right now at the Family History Library. Right. And there's webinars. So one of our moderators is going to put a link to that in the chat. So this is a great resource.
These are great things, especially those moderators, because you can ask questions and things, right? There's if things get uncomfortable, you can click contact us and call one of our support folks, and they'll take your information.
And they're fantastic, and we appreciate and love them.
Dedicated people, let me tell you. And they want to help you so badly that they will.
Yes.
And they'll get back to you as soon as they can. We have a community for those who like to go to self-help. You could go to the community.
There's research groups where there's some helpers in there as well.
Right. So you can go to groups, or you can go to support questions, browse, answer, and ask. So you just click that, enter in your question. So I can enter my question that I have, and then it goes out there to the community, and people answer those questions. So here's some stuff for the groups: Chinese genealogy, family history research, family search places, tips and tricks, all of these kind of groups that will want to help you. And there's lots and lots of people who are answering these questions, and they answer them pretty quickly. And this is just other people just like you and I.
Yes.
That are out there doing
They're in
stuff.
their houses. They're in there. Yes. And we're going to post a link to all the webinars that you can go to at the Family History Library. One of our moderators is going to do that. And so I think the communities is a lesser known experience. So that's something to check out for sure.
For sure. And, then there's if you happen to do a support case, there's this. And then there's, of course, the research wiki, which is done by, our best genealogists to help us learn about where records are.
Yes.
And you can come in here and enter in a search here for something that you're looking for. Irish, how do I do Irish record, genealogical society, Irish heritage centers. And you can go in there and find out all this information about these things and where the records are and the whole bit.
And there's like 90,000.
Lots of help.
Yes, lots of help. Okay, so one thing I wanted to, Ron, will you go back to the homepage? There was something on there that I wanted to talk about on FamilySearch. As one of the things that, as we're wrapping up, we want to invite you guys to join us. We are joining in a worldwide fast on Friday, Good Friday, and you can see a little bit about it right there. And we're fasting, we're joining hands with people all over the world, and this is something that we'd love to invite our FamilySearch friends to do. And something we want to just invite you to do is, like I said, put comments or questions. Let us know what you would like to learn. We're live streaming every Wednesday at 4:00 Mountain Time here on Facebook, and these videos will be saved so you can hang out with Ron and I anytime you want to. And
what is enough? I tell most
I don't
people,
know.
what is enough?
And then we will be on Instagram, 11 o'clock Mountain Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And tomorrow, as we kind of talked about, we will have Jeff Hawkins, and he'll be talking a lot more detail about Merge and some other fun things. And when I get a chance to interview or engage with people, I get to talk to them beforehand. And Jeff has the most interesting home office to date. So join us on Instagram tomorrow. And next week we have Heidi Swap, who'll be joining us Tuesday on Instagram, and Wednesday on Facebook is Tim from the library, and he'll be talking about kind of breaking through, dead ends, brick walls, all of those things. And then we're still figuring out our Thursday guest on Instagram. So follow along, and I'll have one of our moderators put the link to the schedule for this in the blog post. In the comments. And this is Family Search Live. This is the first chance we've ever had to do this. And Ron is our, and we were with Ty last week, Ty Davies, and Ron this week. So thanks for tuning in to Family Search Live. And we really appreciate spending the time with you. And take care of yourself. You're not alone. We want to be here with you. Come to Family Search and reach out, and we will do what we can to engage and help you. So thank you. Thank you so much, Ron.
Great.
You guys. Okay, let us know if you have more questions.